Shalom, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Pilgrim Warrior's Progress. Today, I have a lot to communicate about, but I want to focus in on one subject, and that subject is the subject of where you are. And sometimes we can think to ourselves, oh, I am in the wrong place, oh, this or that. But the reality is, wherever you are, it is about doing the best you can. This Bible words it in this way that whatsoever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. And we can apply that. I just had an encounter with a woman here at the post office, and I asked her where she was from, and she told me a bit of her story and asked me about my experience, and thought I was from Washington because of my mail situation, and I said no, actually I was in Pennsylvania. And she said, well, what brought you down here to Georgia? And I was like, well, I suppose God brought me down here. So I guess is where God wants me to be. And in recognizing that, we had a good conversation. She's like, she didn't say amen, she said a whole bunch of other stuff, but she was very much in agreement with that concept. And I had the privilege of being able to share with her the quote from Patriarchs and Prophets, and I told her about that book and the context, and I shared with her the quote that says that the happiest place on earth for us is where God would have us to be. And she said something interesting, and she, after agreeing with that concept, she said, yes, I tell my children or my friends or whoever that, God, he shows up and he shows out. When he, you can rejoice when he closes a door or opens a window, because, when he closes the door, you can go in some other direction that he wants you. That's the way he wants you to be. And I'm not communicating her thoughts perfectly, but it was just this beautiful concept. And in relation to some of the things I'm experiencing in my life in this season, just recognizing that to hear this woman talk about how if God shuts the door, then we can rejoice. And and if God opens the door, and we can be confident in going that direction and have peace. And say, Paul tells us to say that he learned to be content in whatsoever state he was in. And we can say we can be content in the state of Washington, in the state of Oregon, in the state of Georgia, in the state of pain, in the state of euphoria. We can be content in all of those things. It may not mean that we have the same experience throughout all of that, but we can, throughout whatever experiences surrounding it, we can still cling to peace and contentment, because they can be our gifts from God himself, and we can choose to receive them. So thank you for watching. Shalom, my friends.